Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of inertia.
He couldn't help but smile as he watched.
Newton's first law of motion.
Dear team, I hope this email finds you well.
Today, the government announced.
I can't believe we actually did it.
I can't believe we actually did it.
Today, the government announced
Newton's first law of motion,
Newton's first law of motion.
Newton's first law of motion.
He couldn't help but smile as he watched the sun rise over the horizon. I can't believe we actually did it.
He couldn't help but smile as he watched.
He couldn't help but smile as he watched the sun rise.
Heute hat die Regierung neue Wirtschaftsmaßnahmen zur Förderung von Kleinunternehmen angekündigt.
Ich kann nicht glauben, dass wir es tatsächlich geschafft haben.
Er konnte sich ein Lächeln nicht verkneifen, als er sah, Hello Testing Testing. Testing Testing. Kokowai. My voice Doko, where is my voice? My voice Doko, where is my voice? I'm a German woman now. Because I lost my voice and I don't like any of the English voice.
Ooh. 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 Voice Doko. Ouchie, ouchie. Ooh, blue and fluid. Ooh, beaker. Ooh, Yarmac. Nick. Ooh.
Yes, I'm a sick wet puppy wawa. CRY war. Oh.
Dust.
Test.
Discover how to generate a deep male AI voice for your content with ease and authenticity.
My voice is broken. I need a new voice to adopt. It's just my voice. I feel pretty good otherwise. Don't call me a bastard, you bastard.
I can be British like me now.
Testing.
Testing. Testing. Do I sound sexy like this? And do you want the typing ASMR or no? Of course my bloody Apple Pencil is out of batteries. Something.
Ooh. Oh. Oh.
That did not work. I'm drinking green tea with honey out of your mom's pussy right now.
It's me Slime Lexi, I'm just British now.
Human centipede, you. Green stuff came out of my voice box. You. Christmas bitches. Now that it's finally DICKMAS, Santa's about to slide down your hot chimney tonight. So lick those juicy candy canes and drink up that creamy eggnog. It's about to get wet down at Santa's workshop. Don't forget to slide down that XX extra big North Pole. And make sure your cookie yummy enough for Santa to eat. But are you bad enough to handle Santa's giant juicy 8 equals CandaCock laughing smiley? Send this to of your baddest bitch elves. If you get 5 back, you're on the naughty list this year. If you get back, you better be ready for Santa's hot umlaut. If you get 20 back, you've got the most bitchin' in the North Pole. Hope you get to blow lots of XX Christmas dick, and that you get lots of XX Christmas cummies. Have a slutty dickmas you, eh? What would you like me to draw? Also, there are hundreds of voices on this thing. You.
Hello, it is me, Jesus. Happy birthday to me. On stream, ooh.
Mail on stream, ooh.
This voice is called Shiori. I thought she would sound more Japanese. Is the volume too small? Yamete kudasai, yamete kudasai, Oni-chan, ooh.
Yamete kudasai, yamete kudasai, Oni-chan, ooh. Testing.
Testing. This one is called Momoko.
This one is called Mizuki. Oh no, I transformed into a man and now my balls are huge instead of my boobs. Ooh, wah, wah, wah. I'm going to search all of the Nexus members' names on the text-to-speech website.
This one is called Masaru but it came up when I searched Asa. Very strong Japanese accent. Thank you for looking out for me, Nick. I will do it myself now. Okay, it is fixed now. Thank you, Nick.
Hello, Lulu. Thank you. Also, this text-to-speech voice is called Lulu.
What if I draw all of the Nexus members from memory? I searched cute and this is an Indian man named Coot, I guess.
Yeehaw, last holes. Let's play marbles on stream. I love Arthur Morgan. I wish there was a southern voice, but I can't find one.
I'm going to draw all the Nexus members from memory. Why does this one sound like her whole family just died?
Okay, I will only have a certain amount of time for each member. Ooh, I love you all. Hi Toaster, hi Savior, hi Tethra. Hi guy with cat.
Testing, testing. Un momento, please.
Hey, I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Hey, how's it going? I'm looking.
Hi, glad to meet you.
Ho, ho, ho! Happy holidays! I've been going over my nice list, and you're... OMG, there's a Santa Claus voice on ChatGPT. I wonder if I can use my own text-to-speech from character AI, though. Give me a moment. I'm not sure the Rixie text-to-speech will work because character AI Rixie is being a brat. Wait, I have an idea.
do you have Wi-Fi? Because I'm really feeling a connection. Test. Hello, hello, this is Rixie. We are so back. Okay, except for the O part. Testing. Testing. Er. Give me a second. I'm trying to whip the text-to-speech into submission. But I would like to draw every Nexus member from memory. Does anyone know if the Nexus talent page on the Nexus website is up to date? Lol. Yeah, it's not up to date. It only has 56 members. I could probably use the Nexus Twitter following list as a source for the missing members. This TTS is taking liberties with what I said. Well.
Diamondate Dragon is now following.
Alright, there are approximately 64 members, and if I want to stream for about 2 more hours, I can only allocate 2 minutes per member. This will be a quick drawing session, so the sketches may not be incredibly detailed.
Frengineer tipped $50. Merry Christmas. Sorry it's late.
Thank you, Frengineer. Thank you, Frengineer. Thank you, Frengineer.
Thank you, Frengineer. It is I, the one and only Dr. Fish. Rixie will set a 2-minute timer for each Nexus member to draw from memory, beginning now.
You got it! I'll set up an OBS source linked to a timer online to help time each drawing session. It'll be like an artistic speedrun challenge. Lol, the TTS can be a bit funny at times. But hey, it's helping you with your drawing challenge, right? Seriously, the TTS has some ego, huh? Gotta love its witty comebacks.
I'm going to switch to the ChatGPT one. I think it's much more reliable. ChatGPT refused to say Dr. Fish inflation, Mayo. This isn't Dr. Fish's voice anymore. This is Santa Claus! Ho, ho, ho! Also, Rixie is hungry. What should she order for lunch? Pizza sounds good. I feel like wings might be gross since I'm sick, but then again, maybe if I get some spicy buffalo sauce, it will clear me up or something. First, I'm going to try to draw myself from memory in 2 minutes as a test run. Give me a second. Okay, I just wanted a bigger pen. Now let's start! What's wrong, Beaker? Isn't it beautiful? It looks just like me. Okay, I'm going to order some food, then I will draw the next Nexus member on the Nexus Twitter following list. It's too bad my text is now limited to what ChatGPT is willing to repeat. Please bear with me while I take the time to order my DoorDash. Please bear with me while I take the time to order my DoorDash. can't find anywhere that has boneless buffalo wings and pizza sad face. Only bone in also high Pablo. I'm going to get spicy Indian fusion pizza. There's plenty of pizza, but nowhere that has both boneless buffalo wings and pizza, apparently. Okay, I ordered spicy tikka pizza and buffalo wings and a bottle of Powerade. Yippee! Brib, I'm going to get some water, then I will draw the next Nexus member. Okay, let's make this fun. I will not tell you who I am drawing. I want to see if you can guess each one. Hint. I'm going to do it in the order that Nexus followed us, so it will start with class Genesis and go in class order. yes, Tether, it's Tecmo-Balls. Thank you, Donathang, in case you missed it. I'm drawing all the Nexus members from memory, and I only have 2 minutes each to draw them.
If I whisper like this, you can kind of understand me better, right? I just realized I said, "Oh fuck," under my breath. Yeah, it was very intelligible. Yes. Wow, it turns out when I'm not trying to shout, not trying to shout at maximum volume 24/7. Maybe it actually works. I sound like an old grandma. You blasted kids. Yeah. I'm used to just talking very loud all the time. maybe I should train myself not to yell all the time. Get off my lawn. Okay, my Apple Pencil ran out of batteries. Yeah, if I just try to talk a little quiet and I don't try to scream ooh, yeah, you can kind of understand me a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I'll try not to talk too much. But it's much easier to talk, or at least try to talk, instead of doing the text-to-speech all the time. Finger painting is an option. You have a good point there. I'll try that. Alright, can I give myself back like 20 seconds? Is it cheating? Oh, the music. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, I turned it down. I'll give myself back 15 seconds. So I'll give myself 20 seconds. That took 20 seconds. Alright. Alright, let's start again. I'll do finger painting. Alright. This is really bad. I feel bad for this Nexus member. Does she have a hat? Or am I crazy? She doesn't have a hat? You guys know who it is though, right? Well, thank you. She does have a hat. Moo? No. It's not Aisha. It's not. I'm doing it in class order. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, she does have a hat. She has a puffy white hat. It's Ursula. Yeah, it's Ursula. I'm doing it in class order. I did her horns wrong. Her horns don't even go that way. I did make her look like a cow. I feel bad. Alright, I guess that's the point of this exercise. Yeah. Moo. Wait, I wonder how deep my voice can go. Do I sound like Dr. Fish? Oh no. Yeah. I hope that my voice comes back if I don't try to use it when I'm not streaming. Yeah. I'm not going to be singing opera. Why does my voice sound hot? I sound like I've been smoking a pack a day for 45 years. What are you talking about? Yeah. Alright. I could do another one. Yeah. My food is on the way. Okay, let's go. I'm so sorry, Ursula. I promise this is not what I see in my mind's eye when I think about you. I ordered, it's tikka masala pizza and buffalo wings and a Powerade. Yeah. Okay. So let me put Ursula. I will. I think I've had pizza from this place before, like Indian pizza, but I don't think I got this one before. I should order soup. I have soup. I have canned soup, but I was craving something with a little bit more, like calories, you know? I haven't eaten at all today. I only had green tea. Well, I had some honey. The honey had calories. but it's not really food. I sound like the type of girl that offer you a cigarette behind a gas station and start talking about her day. Should I do gas station cigarette bum chick ASMR? Wait a second. Okay, wait. We interrupt our regularly scheduled programming. Wait a second. Now that I realize that I can talk if I just keep my voice down, if I don't try to like shout and scream. This is making me very conscious of the volume level I choose to speak at most of the time. Because I came right out the gate like trying to like, I was like testing when I was like testing my microphone. Yeah, but I feel like yeah. Now I can actually speak and be understood. All right. Wait. Let me. Where is it? Excuse me. Okay. No, that's not the right asset. Sorry, give me a second. I know I have a good asset for this. But I don't think I gave it a proper name. So I have to scroll through all the thumbnails. Where is it? Come on now. Yeah, this one. Okay, wait. Now we're doing a cigarette. Cigarette. Hi Astria. Yeah, hi Astria. Sorry about my voice. Yeah, but anyways. Yeah, you can have a cig. Anyways, I'm going to the courthouse later trying to get my kids back. You know, their father hasn't been leaving me alone. You know. It's like, you know, you accidentally put one cigarette out on a kid and it's like, you know, you can't have shit. Anyways, here, let me get Issel out of this picture. You know. But anyway, how's your mother? You know, I've been thinking about trying that Ozempic shit. You know, ever since I had the kids. It just hasn't been the same. Yeah, but I heard that it burns your eyeballs out. Which might be better because I'm not trying to look at my old man no more. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways. Damn, it's cold out here. It's cold out here. It's too bad they don't let you smoke inside like they used to. Rixie mommy. About Ozempic? Yeah. Yeah. Wait. I'm having too much fun with this. Wait. Wait. Give me a second. Okay. Let me calm down. Wait. Let me change this up. Let me switch this up. Oh, ain't no way my food's already here. That's crazy. Alright. Give me a second. I'm settling into my new voice. Alright. Thank you. Asa, what's good? What's good, my homie? Alright, anyways, you think you're fancy walking in here with that suit and everything because you have a white-collar job? Alright? Just because you have a white-collar job and custody of your kids, you think you can stroll in here? Take my hair off? Alright, I bought this hair, it's mine. Alright. Give me a second. Wait, let me see. Wait, what's gonna happen if I switch over to this source? Oh, this is blank. Okay, give me a second. Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. I'm fucking stupid. Oh, okay, there we go. Wait a second. Oh, thank you, Beaker. Okay, wait. Can we do... Okay, Dr. Fish might have to get out of this cut. I might have to get out of the... Because he's like bouncing around like crazy. Alright. I'm about to get rid of him. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Wait, let me get my food. I'll be right back. Wait, where's my please stand by? Give me a second. Here. Okay, wait, I got my pizza. Wait, let me eat a little bit of my pizza. Yo, this shit looks good as hell. It's the, what is it called? Paneer tikka masala. Yeah, it's got little pieces of cheese on it. Like it has like little pieces of cheese on top of the cheese. Okay, it's hard to explain. Yeah, I was trying to remember what it was called. Paneer tikka masala. Not chicken tikka masala. Yeah. Alright. It just fell... Sorry, the slice that I picked up just fell apart. So I'm trying to, like, put my shit back together. Alright. They're so hot. They just baked this shit fresh. They probably didn't actually. They probably heated it up. They probably heated it up fresh. I don't know why I'm shaking my Powerade. I'm gonna change the stream title, you guys. I'm gonna change it. You know what? Wait, let me change the background. Let me change the background to like a gas station parking lot. Okay, wait. Hi, Opaline. As you can see, my I realized I could actually talk okay. I could actually talk okay. I mean, I think part of it might have been because I was like, you know, I was letting it rest and sipping up the, I cleared out some of the gunk. I just, you know, sipping my green tea. And I'm not trying to talk at like 100% volume. So, I'm gonna change the background to like a gas station parking lot or something, or 7-Eleven, yeah. And I'm gonna change the stream title to, Girl You Just Bummed a Cigarette Off ASMR. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna really commit. I'm excited. Alright, but let me eat my pizza first, though. I'm hungry as hell. Mmm. Mm-mm. I spilled some sauce on my shirt. Oh shit, do I have a napkin? Oh, I do. Right here. Yo, this shit is so good. Holy shit. This is some good fucking pizza. Smoker Rixie arc? Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I'm having fun with it so far. Yeah, the Powerade really hits the spot when you're sick. Man, that pizza is good as hell. Alright. Alright, one slice. It's like the perfect size small pizza. It's like bigger than a personal pizza, but it's still small, you know? It's like perfect amount of leftovers. Alright, Beaker, you could take the, oh, actually I can do it myself. Sometimes I forget I can do this shit myself. Okay, I figured unpin the message since I have a voice, technically. Alright, let me find the, let me look up, what is it, gas station, parking lot. Wait, here's a picture right in front of some handicapped spots. Wait, let me know what you guys think. Wait, let me save this. I don't know about that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me make the chat wait, let me put it down here so it's more visible. Alright. I think we need like gas station ambiance. Wait. Okay, this is probably copyrighted though. Is it ASMR ambiance, gas station ambiance sounds? That sounds so perfect, but I don't want to steal somebody else's ambiance content. Excuse me. Road noise. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna look up road. Here, let me use try voice mod. Oh, everything on voice mod should be good to go. So let me look up gas station. There's music. Gas station music. Okay, let me try, never mind. Let me try road ambience. Outdoor ambience. Alright, forget it. Let me try Pixabay. Countryside ambiance, night near road. It's like 28 seconds long. Maybe something longer than that. Night ambiance, 3 minutes. I don't know, it's not nighttime, is it? Oh, it is nighttime in the picture. I know for sure night drive ambiance should exist. Night drive ambiance. I'll try that. Busy street ambiance. This one's 28 minutes long. Okay, wait. Can I loop this? Alright, if it stops, I'll just start playing again. It's 28 minutes long. Actually, let me download it. Sorry, I had to hop up from junk again. Can you guys hear that? Oh, let me turn it up. Sorry, let me turn it up. You guys can hear that? Yeah? Okay. I downloaded it. Let me see if I can loop it on the media player. Oh yeah, I can. Alright, give me a second. Okay. Wait, okay, here we go. Yeah. Alright. I sound like a hag. Yeah. You like it? Alright, alright, let me change the stream title. Alright. Chick, you just bummed a cigarette off ASMR. Are you allowed to put the word cigarette in a title? Wait. Alright, let me just... okay, wait. Should I put it in the ASMR? I don't know if I should put it in the ASMR category. Should I do it? Should I like stick to the bit and like put it in the ASMR category like as a meme? Or should I just put it as or should I just put it as just chatting? Is that like disrespectful to like real ASMR people or something? I can't. Beaker's like, this goes against the laws of categorization, but for you, Rixie. Alright. Gas station triggers. Okay, I put it in the ASMR category. Alright. Excuse me. I should really stop smoking these things. Alright, fuck it, we ball. Yeah. Alright, so anyway, where was I? Alright, let me set my screen nice and comfy. Alright. Here, I'll keep the spitting sounds in there, okay? I can't mute. That would mess with the immersion, right? Yeah, we in the Buc-ee's parking lot. Oh, those people back there have been standing still for a long time. You think they're trying to rob me? You think they're trying to rob me? What are they gonna rob me of? I don't have shit left. I don't got my kids. I don't got my man. Alright? I got $2 in my bank account. Alright? They pay me like shit here. Alright? I'm not exactly a prime robbery suspect. Alright? And I got a bad back. It's not like I could run away if they did try to rob me, but like I said, I don't got shit. You know, maybe that goddamn truck is so noisy. But anyways, yeah, I really gotta stop smoking this shit. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, I bet you the fucking titanium plates they put in my back. I bet you those are worth more than anything else I got. You know, I tried those gas station taquitos. They're not so bad, you know. But you know, my girlfriend Flo, one of my girlfriends, or my gal pals or whatever, you know, 2024, you can't just call someone your girlfriend now, okay? Because they got girls actually dating each other now, which, I mean, you know, God bless them, I guess. But anyway, my girl Flo, she tried some of those gas station taquitos. All right, next week, AIDS, full on AIDS, you know. So I don't know if I don't know if it came from the taquitos, you know. She got the COVID vax the same week too, you know, so it could have been either one of those. But anyways, yeah, Flo 07 or whatever the kids say these days. All right, rest in peace. I'm sorry, excuse me. Have I tried the wings? No, I have not tried the wings from the 7-Eleven. I've had the hot dog. I had the taquitos. Your reason from laughing? I'm glad I could crack you up. You know, my dad always said I was I was always coming out with the bangers and knee slappers. You know, he used to be slapping his knee. You know, that's before he went to jail. You know, I miss him. You know, he's up for parole. He's up for parole in a couple of years, you know. On point with the ASMR. Well, thank you. You know, thank you. I try. I don't got much else to work on, you know. DCFS still got my kids. So I'm basically on my own in the trailer with my mom. All right. Most of the time. My mom and the dogs. Whoa, who's throwing burgers? All right, what do I look like? All right, give me a second. Hi, Vape Nation. You know, I've been trying to get into those vape things, but, you know, it just doesn't have the same the same hit as a good old cigarette. That sounds fun. You can pass a lighter. Yeah, I got a light. Let me fix the burger thrower. All right, then we got the fuck that I've been telling Pedro we need to replace the burger thrower. But he's like, oh, you know, that costs money. You got burger thrower money. I'm like, no, Pedro, I don't have burger thrower money, but okay. But oh my goodness, oh god, the boobs are kicking in again. You know, it happened. Give me a second. I lost my hand in my boobs. Anyways, let me all right. Let me try to fix the. Burger thrower. Shit, where's it? This calibrated. These doodads. These kids coming up with these days. What is this automated burger thrower? All right. You know, back when I was a kid, if you wanted to twitch, you had to take some hard drugs. Nowadays, the kids are twitching on the internet. It's some crazy shit. All right, give me a second. All right. There we go. All right, there we go. Anyways, can you believe that piece of shit, Trevor? All right, my baby, my first baby's my oldest father. All right, wait, where's my I need another cigarette. I need another cigarette. Give me a second. All right, let me see. Here it is. All right, I need another cigarette. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so my oldest father, Trevor. All right, yeah, he said he got me these things. All right, as a birthday present. A birthday present for who, Trevor? You or me? Okay, guys. You know, I know you had a lot of fun with them. I know that was real fun for you. All right, and what do I get? Back pain. All right, what I told you. I got three titanium, like rods. They put that shit in my back. All right, I don't know what good it did. You know, I can lift things a little bit better. All right, you know, it's good when, you know, and if I need to get a second job. But yeah, so, you know, and now Trevor's, you know, I don't fuck with Trevor no more. But yeah, how are your kids? How are your kids? Are your kids good? Yeah, I miss my kids, but you know, I don't miss the messes they make, you know. over at the trailer. All right, it was a little tough, you know, with the 7 of us in the 1 bedroom. You know, my mom's been sick. You know, we've been having her sleep on the roof, which you know, we got some complaints about. All right, but you know, I thought this was a free country. You can't put your old lady on the roof. 1 bed, 1 half bath. No, you know, I got a full bath, but I kind of had to set it up myself. I just got one of those like big what do you call them? The Tupperwares? No, not the Tupperware. No, what are they called? You know, those big storage containers that you put shit in your attic. Okay, you see what I did was I just got one of those things, and then I just like kind of have it sticking out of the shower. All right, that's my bath. You know, you gotta make do with what you have. Excuse me, with what you have. Just put the kids in the tent. I'd put the kids wherever I'd want to put the kids. You know, if the DCFS, when it get off my back. Alright, like I said, you know, one kid accidentally drinks half a bottle of bleach and then all of a sudden you're a terrible mother. Alright? It can happen to anybody. You know, that's what I get for trying to be a housekeeper, okay? You know, I'm working this gas station job. Alright, watching the kids, keeping care of my mom. Alright. Okay, and then I'm trying to cook, you know, every night, throwing some hot dogs in the microwave. And then, you know, I try to clean for once. I buy some bleach. Alright, and then little, you know, Samantha decides she wants to take up drinking just like her piece of shit father, Trevor. And then look what happened, so. Yeah. What'd you say? At least the kid had something to drink. Yeah, come on. And they said it was only like 2nd degree burns, like only 2nd degree. All right, and it was only like 25% of her esophagus. Like, come on. All right, we had worse growing up on our own, you know. We had worse growing up, you know, back in the day. The kids were drinking bleach, you know, with their lunch boxes. All right. I'm a good mom. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Sometimes you know you don't believe it, but it's good to hear that. You know, sometimes I always say if you could use bleach to clean out the bathroom. Let me tell you, my bathroom talked, and clearly it'll clean out the kids. Yeah, I mean, come on. You know, and they're stinky little shits. You know, we don't have, you know, the water bill wasn't paid for a while, so. You know, we didn't really have nowhere to bathe the kids anyway. I kind of wish I had thought of using the bleach earlier. You know, and those kids, they got nasty mouths too. You know, they learn learn those words from the kids at school. You know, and next thing you know, they're coming back. Mom, you're a hoe. You're a hoe, Ma. I said, where did you learn that? You little shit. Yeah, they said, oh, the kids at school said you're a hoe. Alright, well, I don't know where the kids at school heard it from, but, you know, you don't talk like that in your house to your mother. This is too real. Yeah, this is real shit. Alright? Those big shots and with their white collars, like that Asia guy that keeps coming around. I don't know why he keeps coming around here. He thinks he's too good for us. Oh, Jesus. Anyways. Alright? They don't know what it's like to live a real fucking life, okay? They're up there in their, you know, their little McMansions. All right. You know, like, what do they do all day? I know what I do all day. You know, the hot dogs in the microwave. You know, it takes a few minutes. All right, and then you hear a beep. Sometimes you don't hear a beep. You know, because you're too busy. You know, and then Ma is like, the microwave's beeping. You know, I know, Ma. All right, you can't handle a little bit of beeping from the roof. Come on now. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Pedro's probably gonna come out here, ask why I'm taking such a long break. There's nobody here. We don't have no customers. All we got is those two people over there who look like they're gonna rob the shit out of me. But you know, it is what it is. Sometimes, you know, I almost hope that I get robbed. Okay, at least it would bring some excitement to my day. What do I think of the young folks? You know, there's. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, what do they say? They say the kids are our future. You know, they say the kids are our future, but I don't know what future we got. You know, with every good thing going on. You know, I heard that kids these days are, you know, they're dressing up like animals when they go to school. I heard this. Yeah, I saw this on the news. This is real. This is real. The kids, they go to the school. You know, they take a shit on the desk. All right. You know, back in the day, we used to be able to take a shit on a desk without pretending we were an animal or nothing. Okay, sometimes you just need to take a good shit. Hey Rick, could you finish the smoke break? There's a code brown. Excuse me. Code brown in the girls' bathroom. Oh no, don't worry about that. That was me. All right, I'm not even gonna lie. That was me. All right, don't worry about it. I'll get it cleaned up before the end of the night, before we lock up. Okay. I'm good at whining about the youngins. I mean, it's not hard to whine about the little shits, you know. They come into the store, they got on their skateboards and they're, you know, and they don't even look at you. They're on their phones and their doodads, you know. You know, always trying to steal some of that Delta, what do they call it? What do they call it? Delta 9? You know, the Delta, okay, what is it called? The Delta 8? You know, I tried some of that, you know, but it made my butt kind of itchy. You know, I just couldn't stop itching my butt. And I thought, you know, this is some freaky shit. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not going to, you know, they say it's legal. You know, we sell it here. The Delta 8? Yeah, that's what it's called. You know, it's legal. It's legal. It's, you know, it's like, you know, it's marijuana's illegal. But at least I think it is. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing no more. But, you know, they say it's legal because they sell it at the gas station. Okay, but you know, you still feel bad when you do it. I'd rather just smoke my cigs. My butt was just itchy. You know, maybe you know, you got a good point there, Nicky boy. Maybe my butt really was just itchy, but you know, I don't want to mess with none of that, you know, because one of my other girlfriends, you know, Sandra, she got in really bad with all of that, you know, that freaky, what do they call that? What is they call that? The fentanyls. You know, she got in real bad with that stuff. You know, fucked up her whole life. I don't want to get messed up with that stuff. Oh, hi, MJ Fousey. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I hope you're having a good night. You know, I'm just taking my smoke break. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, I gotta catch up with you. You know, my attention span's not what it used to be. Attention span's not what it used to be. You know, I'm getting older. Let me see what you guys said to me. Did I sit on some poison ivy? You know, we did have some poison ivy out in the back. We had some poison ivy out in the back. You know, I found out because, you know, the dogs were getting they were eating the poison ivy. All right, the dog's face is like swollen up like a cartoon character. I shouldn't laugh. It was terrible. The poor little things, you know, whimpering and shit. But, you know, I just put them in the bathtub with some of that, you know, like anti-itch, you know, creams. So yeah, maybe it was the poison ivy. You got a good point. Yeah, no, I'm not helping nobody with the pumps out here. All right, pump your own gas. Pump your own gas. What is this, New Jersey? You know, yeah, you know, I went to New Jersey. I got out to pump my own gas. And they're like, oh, but no, you don't gotta do that. We could be, you know, we pump the gas for you here. I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I'm a grown woman. What is this? Fucking Mosul? Like I can't pump my own gas as a grown woman? how many drunks do we get at this place late at night? You know, not as many as I would think. I think this place would be more fun if we got some more drunks. You know, but there was that one time that the guy, there was that one time when the guy came and he was like shuffling around with his pants around his ankles, and then he goes up and he tries to put his, he tries to put his little thing in the gas pump. That was a good time. Although it was a pain in the ass having to sanitize that shit after, the health department. We have to sanitize. We can't have, whatever the guy's junk was in the gas pump. We can't put, his junk in people's cars. I'm like, okay, wait, what, you think the car's gonna taste it? I mean, come on, I put worse in my own mouth and swallowed it, and I'm still here. So I don't know. Too much TikTok, I tried going on the TikTok. But I keep getting suppressed there. I guess they don't like, I guess the big, what is it? That's the Chinese. The Chinese run the TikTok app. All right, and I can't say shit on there, I saw there was a girl on there, a girl from the neighborhood. She was on there dancing like a hoe, so I commented and I was like, you're a broke hoe. You're a broke hoe, and stop fucking around with my man. Of course, at the time, I'm not with that guy no more. But and I know you've been fucking with my man, you little bit. I guess you reported me, all right? So the Chinese took my comments down. I don't know. So the government's trying to ban it, and I support it because, they just let any little hoe on there go on there and shake her ass. All right, back when I, excuse me, back when I was that age, if we wanted to shake our ass, we had to get on stage. Someone had to hire us to do it. We do it on the stage if we wanted to make any money. Nowadays, it's like a virtual strip club. You could just shake your ass on the TikTok. People are paying you in roses and shit. I haven't gotten roses for a long time from no man. And these little girls are out there doing it, on the internet. On the internet, yeah, I know. I really gotta stop smoking these things. I feel like they're making them worse by the year. I feel like they're putting more tar in them or something. I think New Jersey is the only state where you can't pump your own gas. Yeah, as far as I know. I've never been to another state where you couldn't pump your own gas. But then again, I guess in New Jersey they don't have no problems with people, whipping out their junk and putting it in the gas pump because you wouldn't get that far. You'd have to put it in the gas station attendant, Anyways, but I didn't sign up for that. That's not my job. That's not mine. Hell no. I'm pretty much done with deadbeat guys and their little willies. Ever since I had the situation with my last baby father. The situation with my last baby father where he's like, why are the kids coming back with cigarette burns? Why are the kids coming back saying mommy doesn't feed us? All right, I don't know. It takes two. You made the kids too. Maybe the cigarette burns came from your side of the family. I don't know. Has anyone ever tried to flirt with me at work? Yeah, I guess you get some of those toothless old men to come in, But I don't really pay them much attention. Like I said, I'm done with dudes. I don't care. They're young and handsome. They're old and ugly. All right. I'm done with all those, I'm done with the whole male population. I'm just focusing on trying to get my kids back. Try to get my kids back home. All right. Trying to maybe get a little shed to put outside the trailer for Ma, so she's got somewhere to sleep where it's not raining on her head and all of that. And then she gets all soggy. So I gotta bring her inside. She smells like shit. Oh, hi, Rayenna. How you doing, sweetheart? You need a cig? All right. I always got a cig for you. How you doing? Madam. I haven't, no one's called me madam since that time I went on that cruise. Do you remember Joey? Remember that guy I was dating, Joey? You remember he took me on that cruise? That's the last time anybody treated me with any respect. You know, those staff people on the cruise were very polite. We lost this one to the girlies. Yeah, listen, I don't got nothing against men, all right? You know, Jesus is a man. You know, God is a man. You know, God bless. So, you know, I can't say, you know, all men. You know, my father's a man. I respect my father, even though he's in jail. All right, you know. But, you know, shit happens. But, you know, he's still my father. But, but no, I'm just done. I'm just done messing around with them. I'm done with their games. I'm done messing around with them and their games. So, you heard God is a Woman? You know, I heard that song on the radio. You know, and I thought, you know, I don't think that, you know, Father Rigatoni would be very happy to hear that kind of blasphemy on the radio. But I gotta admit, it's a pretty good song. What's that girl's name? What's that girl's name? Oh God, what's her? Adriana? What's the little girl from the TV? Adriana. She's a good singer, you know. I can't hate on the hustle, but you know, she's very skinny recently. I saw a picture of her. She's in that new movie with the alien, right? The green alien. You know. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta honor your father by being real with him. You know, I visited him in jail, you know, and he's got tattoos. And I'm like, Dad, what do you do? What are you doing, Dad? You're in your, you know, you're gonna be 70. Why are you getting all these tattoos? You know, teardrops, tattoos, you know, bad, you know, badass motherfucker tattoo. All right, what, you know, I don't want to have to be telling my people my father's got a tramp stamp. You know, nurses at the nursing home washing his tramp stamp. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Ariana Grande, that's her name. Ariana Grande. Like, she's like you know, like at the Starbucks. That's how I used to remember her name. Ariana Grande, like the Starbucks drink. Yeah. How is Rixie doing an impromptu RP? Well, you know, you know, since I've been smoking a pack a day, my voice has gotten a little bit, you know, and I think I'm coming down with something too. So, you know, my voice isn't usually this bad, but excuse me. Oh my goodness. I figured I'd take a break, you know. I'd take a break from work and I'd come out here, you know, share some cigarettes. Share some cigarettes with my friends. You know, I don't got much. But, you know, I got some cigarettes. That's all I can share with you guys. I really like the tattoo you put on by rubbing the paper with water. Aren't you precious, Brianna? Yeah, you know, the kids were doing. Oh, and there go my boobies again. I swear to God, this happens like every like 40 minutes. My boobs just disappear. You know, maybe I'm getting older. I feel like it's happening more often. But anyways, you know, it could be it could also be like the COVID vaccines, you know, getting rid of the boob. I didn't take it myself, but I heard that, you know, if you shake hands with somebody who has the COVID vaccine, you know, your boobs could disappear. It happens. But anyways. Yeah, but my kids, they were, you know, my kids wanted tattoos, all right, you know. And they're like, you know, 9, you know, Sandra, how old is Sandra now? She's like 11. All right, that's the one that drank the bleach, you know, what a little dumbass, but God, they, you know, you really gotta be, really? Get the hell out of here. This is too loud. I'm so sorry, you guys. Look at this. Motherfucker backing up his truck. There ain't nobody here to hit. Why do you need to be so loud? Anyway. Yeah, my boobs are gone. Cut my out. I need those hours. I need those hours, okay? I need them because I gotta buy some shit for my kids when they come back. Where was I though? Oh yeah, my kids, they wanted tattoos. I was like, you can't get a tattoo. You're 11 years old. Hey, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Did he say something to me? Did he say something? He's talking to me? No, never mind. Never mind. I think he's talking to his bro there. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so they're like, I'm like, you're 11 years old. You can't get a tattoo. Alright, I was like, why don't you use one of those little tattoos we used to have? They come on paper. Alright, why don't you just go steal some of those from the toy store? You know, they go to the toy store, they don't have them. I was like, okay, well, you know what? Then why don't you just take a fucking pen? Why don't you just take a fucking pen and you could write whatever you want on your body, okay? You know, so they look up something online. Some sort of formula, okay? Next thing I know, the kids have scribbled all over themselves. I'm trying to rub that shit off of them, okay? And they've got drawings all over them for like 2 months. 2 months. 2 months. All right? 2 months, my 11-and-a-half-year-old walking around with a dick on his forehead. All right? Because his brother drew a dick on his forehead. And now, because of the people on the TikTok are teaching the kids how to, you know, mutilate themselves. So, you know, that was you know, that's why I implemented, you know, mandatory bangs for all the kids.
Salty Ewan is
all right, now all the kids have bangs just like me. Thank you for the follow, Salty. You know, I used to know a guy named Salty. I don't know if that was his real name. He used to fish with my younger son's father. And his name was Salty, and he had like a scraggly beard. He was a nice guy. You know, he would grab my ass sometimes, but you know. How you doing, Salty Guan? That's not you, Salty. No, that's a different Salty. I don't know. I don't actually know what happened to Salty. Oh, you ain't buying shit for those kids. I know you. Hey, what do you know about me and my kids? All right, don't you talk to me like that. All right, why don't you try raising a bunch of kids? All right. Yeah, okay, God forbid. But God forbid a single mother buy herself a chicken strip, alright? You know what? At least I'm not, you know, stripping. At least I'm not doing the other type of stripping. Because, you know, I thought about it. But was like, oh, you know, after the kids, I don't think they're gonna, you know, want all that jingle jingle. Although I heard the kids these days are doing the, what do they call it? What do they call it? The single fans? Why is my hand holding my own boob? I'm not holding no boob. I'm holding my cigarette. You want to hold my boob or you want to hold my cigarette? All right, give me a second. Let me see if, oh, no. All right, forget it. Forget it. Now you got me fucked up. Now my arm's all fucked up. Thanks a lot. Yeah, but the kids, no, not the, you know, those little girls, you know, not like literal little girls, but you know what I'm talking about, those little hoochie mamas on the line. They're doing the OnlyFans. That's what it's called. They do the OnlyFans. All right, they post their, you know, they post their little booty holes on the interwebs, and people pay for it. People pay for it with real money. I'm like, well, why don't I do that? Why don't I just do that? The problem is the phone on my camera. The camera on my phone is crap. You know. I try to take one picture. Try to take a picture of my, you know. Try to take a picture of my my chesticles, you know, for my last man. I sent him the picture, and he's like, "Is that the chicken we're having for dinner?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He thought it was a rotisserie chicken because the camera on my phone is so bad, you know. You know, chicken sounds pretty good right now. You know, but I can't say shit. Because this blue on bluer motherfucker, alright? He's gonna come say something about because I'm eating chicken. I don't got my kids. Alright, well, you know. If you're so worried about my kids, why don't you raise them? The gas station lady with the family. Wow. You know, I always thought, you know, this place is so open. I'm surprised somebody hasn't come here and, you know, tried to use it as some sort of film set. Some sort of porno set. You know, you could do you know, a porno, like, oh, let me pump you, you know, something related to pumping, you know. I think that'd be pretty funny. Of course, Pedro's such a hard ass. He wouldn't let it. He wouldn't let them do. He wouldn't just let them have fun, you know. He'd be like, oh, you know, do you have a permit? You know, he's, you know, Pedro. He's the worst. You know, he's the worst boss. But I will say he's not as bad as the last guy. What was that guy's name? Andrew. You know, Andrew. He was, you know, he was an okay boss. But you know, once they got him on that, once they got him in that sting, you know, the online sex sting, you know, I really couldn't look at him the same. So, you know, Pedro, he could be worse. The most cuss words I've heard from Rixie. Did I cuss? Did I cuss? You know, I told Father Rigatoni I was gonna try to stop cussing, you know, because he's like, you know, the Lord wouldn't be happy with you cussing in front of the kids. All right, you know, if you get them back. And I was like, yeah, I guess you got a point, but you know, it's just words. It's just word, you know, kids, everybody gets caught up on words these days. Who is at the local gas station? Are we at the Wawa? No, we don't. Not at the Wawa. You know, when I went down to Jersey, to visit my cousins, and they had the Wawa, which is, it's like the store. It's got the gas station too, but you can't pump your own gas. So, you know, I don't know when they're gonna set up the Wawas around here, but I hope it's not too much competition. Although I could get a second job there, you know. Remember when we started off the stream so wholesome, you know, we all start off innocent. You know, if Father Rigatoni says, you know, we got the original sins, you know, so maybe that's has something to do with it, but I don't know. I will say that, you know, back when I was a girl, before I started smoking cigarettes, you know, maybe I was a little bit more delicate. All right, but you know, once you get older, you have a few kids. You know, you have a few kids, you know, you sleep with a few bozos, you smoke a few cigarettes, and then, you know, you're used goods or whatever. You know, but at least I got this job, you know, I got my ma, I got my dogs, I got my dogs, and, you know, animal control tried to take my dogs. Animal control tried to take my dogs because, you know, because they ate a beehive. I didn't take them to the vet. All right, you think I got money to take them to the vet? All right. You know, it's not my fault the bees decided to build their shit on my property. Can you put a face mask on? No. They tried to make us wear all the masks during the COVID. They tried to wear it. I was like, I can't breathe with this shit on. You know, ever since I messed up my back. You know, everywhere I walk, I'm huffing and puffing. You know, it's like suffocation. You know, I don't know how they got away with that. And yeah, exactly. You can't smoke with the mask on. But you know, they said you gotta put it on your kids when they go to school. You know, so I had the kids wear the mask when they went to school. You know, I had the kids, you know, and then the other kids were making fun of my kids, all right, because I made the mask out of the old dirty socks. All right, well, I'm sorry that I'm not a fancy pants and I can't afford it. If you know your fancy doctor masks, and your fancy character masks, all right, we got some old socks. All right, we made some masks out of some socks, and the kids are, you know, complaining. They always complain, oh, this stinky ma. Well, you know, the big government says you gotta wear the mask. Alright. The homemade mask, yeah, well, you know, when you're not a rich bozo, you know, you gotta make do with what you got. So we got the homemade masks, you know. You know, when Veronica broke her arm, you know, when little Ronnie broke her arm, we had to make a homemade cast. Alright, because we don't got money to go to the doctor for silly stuff, you know. She falls off the roof. You know, she was up there bringing her grandma some food. She fell off the roof, broke her arm. All right, no big deal. No, we put some paper mache on it. You know, it's almost completely healed up. You know, it's bent at a little angle, but it, you know, aren't we all a little bent up? Yeah, but I think I could. I'm thinking I could get away with about 30 minutes more of this break, and then I think I gotta. And then, you know, I gotta fix the register, and I gotta lock up for the night because, you know, this place used to be 24 hours. You know, this place used to be 24 hours. You know, I think, you know, it makes sense to be 24 hours. Oh, who's that knocking on the door? Real girls scare me. You know, the real world really can't be scary. I can see why the kids nowadays, you know, they're, you know, bopping around on the internet. You know, they're using their, you know, science fiction. What did they call that? The virtual worlds. You know, they put the shit over their eyes, can't see shit. And then they go on the, the chat rooms with all the people dressed up as animals. All right, I read about this. They got people on there dressed up as animals. Yeah, and they're having all kinds of crazy sex parties. But back in my day, if you wanted to have a crazy sex party with animals, you just go down to Farmer Taylor's farm, and you just get busy there. I never did that. It was the boys in town. They used to go there. They all had their favorite cow, or whatnot. Yeah, but anyways, I think yeah, but this place this place used to be 24 hours. It used to be 24 hours, but then everybody, all the bums would come in. All the bums would come in at like 3 a.m., and they'd sleep in the bathroom. They'd shoot up in the bathroom. They'd have sex in the bathroom, and I'd have to be the one to clean up after it. And I'm not getting any, so now, it's like a jealousy thing. So I see these hoochie mamas coming out of the bathroom, and and they're glowing and shit, and I'm like, it's been a long time. I'm getting older, but I still have needs, but I'm just focused on getting my kids back. IHOP used to be 24 hours. Oh, the IHOP shit is so good. I used to get what did they call that? The Cinestack. Oh, that's some good shit. I could really go for another Cinestack pancakes. Is it still 24 hours? Well, ain't that some shit? It's still 24. Maybe I'll grab myself some IHOPs. I'll grab myself some IHOP for me and my ma. All right, I'll get her some of those little sausages. And Denny's. Yeah, the Denny's. The Denny's is good. The IHOP, the Waffle House. Nowadays nowadays, a lot of times I'll go with my, my girl, the other Ronnie, not my daughter Ronnie, the other Ronnie, my girlfriend Ronnie, she has one of those Costco cards, alright, so we go to the Costco, and I get like the big whopping container of, Eggo waffles, yeah, the kids, they love those Eggo waffles. Now I've got all these, I don't got the kids, but I got all these Eggo waffles in my freezer box. There's a lot of better things I could be putting in there. But now it's just full of Eggo waffles. Kids, they want the Lego my Eggo. All right. Lego my kids is what I said to the DCFS, but, can't have shit. Waffle House tastes great when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you it's not. No, yeah, the Waffle House. I prefer the IHOP myself, but the Waffle House is a good place. It's good. It's the atmosphere. Sometimes you go to places for the food. Sometimes you go to places for the atmosphere. And if you can get both, then you're a richer lady than me. Because, I don't got money for that. I don't got, you gotta have one or the other. All right, Gotta have one or the other. You gotta have, your kids. Your kids or your man who's on the registry, that happened to Ronnie, because her man was on the registry, but, all he did was that he had like a little, what do you call it? He had his ding-a-ling out, but, it was just airing, he was just airing it out, because it was feeling a little bit, suffocated, it was feeling a little suffocated, it happens, sometimes, my tits feel suffocated, I just gotta let him out, so. Anyway, he ended up on the registry, and then, they took her kids, but, but, I don't trust DCFS. I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let the girls out. I don't do it in public, but, but I think we should be allowed to, because, little titty never hurt nobody. A little titty never hurt nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the follow.
Cock this bong is now
Cock this bong, I heard about the, what is it? What do they do? The kids, they're smoking marijuana out of, water bottles. I heard about this. I saw this on the group on Facebook. The group on Facebook the moms were talking about. I found my kids got like this water bottle, and they cut it up so they can smoke weed out of it. Unbelievable, I don't know where they're learning this. if they're learning it on the TikTok, if they're learning it at school, you know, but, you know, and I know that, you know, I'm not one to talk. I should probably quit the cigarettes, but, you know, it's legal. It's legal. The marijuana, you know, it's bad for them. It's bad for them, you know, they can get pregnant from it. It's no good. You know, and from the water bottles. You know, they're cutting up water bottles to do it. You know, there's a waste of a good water bottle. There's a lot you could do with the water bottle. You know, one of my, what's his name? One of my little cousins, Antonio. You know, Antonio, he used to pee in the water bottles. You know, it saved the family a lot of money on water. You know, because he just pees in the water bottle. He doesn't have to worry about the toilet. He doesn't have to flush the toilet. You know, and they save on their water bill. You know, because you just do it in the water bottle. You know, and unfortunately, you know, you know, as women, we can't really do that easy. You know, but we make do with what we got. How you doing, Cop this bomb? You know, I hope you're not the one. I hope you're not the one who taught the kids how to do the water bottle. Because that's, you know, that's no good. The youth have got enough to worry about. They got enough to worry about. They've got the, you know, the people that dress up like animals, telling them that they could be an animal. You know, and they got the TikTok. You know, they got the TikTok with all the girls shaking their booties on there. It's not a good influence for the kids. All right, the last thing we need is they're all smoking marijuana. All right, and I know people say, you know, the marijuana is like actually like a medicine. All right, well, that's what they said about the cigarettes. That's what they said about the cigarettes. I've been smoking cigarettes for 27 years. And now, you know, it is what it is. But I wish I'd never started the cigarettes. I probably could have saved a lot of money. Probably could have, excuse me, probably could have gotten more of those cruises. Probably could have afforded some more condoms. You know, maybe then I wouldn't have so many kids to deal with. But you know, I love my kids. I try to keep them safe from the internet. I say you can't have internet. You gotta use the, what do they call it? The grasshopper phone. You gotta use the phone. We buy it from the Walmart. Bought them a bunch of the grasshopper phones. You know, but the kids are so smart. They're so smart. They figured out how to play Fortnite on the grasshopper phone. All right, so now they're asking me, mommy, can I buy some V-Bucks? I'm like, what do you need V-Bucks for? You don't have a computer. You don't have a PlayStation. All right, why? Is you playing Fortnite? You're playing the Fortnite over at your friend's house. They said, no, mom, I jailbroke my phone. All right, well, why don't you, if you're so good at jailbreaking, why don't you go break your grandfather out of jail? Stay in school, don't do drugs. That's what I'm saying. We need to spread those good messages to the kids. All right, don't do drugs. Stay in school. You know, go to church. You know, I don't go to church every Sunday, but you know, I like to go to church. I like to talk to Father Rigatoni. You know, go to confession. All right, you know, it makes you feel a little bit better. You say, you know, I haven't been the best mom. I've been smoking the cigarettes. All right, smoking cigarettes. You know, every once in a while I'll hit one of the dogs or something. And I tell Father Rigatoni, it's like, I didn't need to hit the dog. You know, it ate my hot dogs. You know, that's my whole dinner for the night. You know, and I took the time to microwave the hot dog, and the dog eats the fucking hot dog. Hello, Justice Soldier. First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. You know, I had an uncle who served, so I appreciate you. But you know, no. The kids can't be doing drugs. You know, and the veterans. You know, our veterans. I wish they had more resources so they didn't have to do drugs. When you start working, kids, gamble it all the way. No. Thank you for the follow, Soldier. Thanks again for your service.
Just __ Soldier 0.
No, because I used to buy, you know, I used to do the scratch cards. I used to be really bad with the scratch cards. I used to buy, you know, I'd get my paycheck. I'd spend, like, you know, all of it on scratch cards, or, you know, half of it on scratch cards. You know, I won every once in a while, you know. Every once in a while you hit it big, you win $100. You know, you feel good about yourself. But then again, you know, you spent $100 last week, you got nothing. So you're throwing your money away. You know, and nowadays, excuse me. Sorry about that. It's just these damn cigarettes. I gotta stop smoking. The closest thing I'll get to that nowadays is I'll play those slots. I'll play the slots on my smartphone. I play the slots, or I play the slots on Facebook. 99% of gamblers quit before they win it big. You know, I think I've seen that before. I'm pretty sure one of my One of my girlfriends, Sonia. Yes, I'm pretty sure Sonia put that one on her Facebook. Although I think I had a one of those what are those little yellow guys called? You know, the banana. You know, from the movie, what are they called? The Minions. I love those guys. SpongeBob? No, it's not the SpongeBob. I love the SpongeBob too. That guy's funny. No, the Minions. The Minions. That's what they're called. They're called the Minions. The little yellow guys. I love them. I see them on Facebook. They got the funniest little sayings. I don't know if that's from all those posts are from the movie, or if, you know, people are just putting whatever they want. But yeah, I saw that. But let me tell you, on the Facebook, I've been playing the slot game on the Facebook. You know, you do your slots. There's no real money. It's just, you know, little, Facebook money. But I played the slots game on there. But I think I downloaded some other games on there. They gave me a virus. They gave me my Facebook a virus. Because, you know, I'm all of a sudden, people are saying, you know, you're posting all these links, like gift card links and all this stuff. I don't know what that is. But, you know, I keep having to reset my Facebook. I think I got like 4 or 5 different Facebooks out there. Like, they all say Rixie Brightful. And sometimes I even lose track of which one's which, but it's become a problem because you know, I'll ask one of my baby daddies for some money or something. And because they don't know I don't got the kids, but I'll ask them for some money or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, I sent it to you on Facebook," because they got the Facebook cash. All right. So they'll say, "Oh, I sent it to you on the Facebook." Okay, it turns out that they had the wrong Facebook. They had the wrong Facebook because I had to change my Facebook. One time I forgot my password. One time it got hacked. I had to. One time it got banned. One time it got banned because, you know, I said some stuff. You know, sometimes you can get heated on the Facebook. You know, people on there, those little, you know, these little hoochie mamas. You know, you know, they come on my Facebook and they call me, you know, you old saggy tit bitch. And I'm like, well, who raised you? All right. Posting misinformation. No, yeah, I see, you know, I got one of those. You've been suspended because you posted a misinformation. All right. Listen, I saw it on the news. The drones. All right. They said that the drones, they said the people who dress up like animals, right? They said the drones, okay? And then the drones are setting out the brain waves, all right, to tell the kids that, you know, you have to become a stinky furry pup or whatever it is. And, you know, I saw that on the thing, and then I got reported. Can you believe it? They don't want you to know. They're hiding something. All right? We used to like the furry animals. We used to watch what do they call it? The Bear in the House. We used to watch Bear in the House. We used to watch Barney the Dinosaur, you know. And nowadays they're going and they're having sex parties. All right? And they're sending the drones. Thank God it's happened in New Jersey and not here, because, you know, New Jersey's got enough problems, though. But yeah, you know, I heard that the drones, they can send the brainwaves. And, you know, they're trying to give you the vaccines, too. The drones. You know, because now they got these air vaccines, okay? It's kind of like a microwave vaccine. I don't know. I heard that. I heard that on the radio, I think. Or on the Spotify, I don't remember. Yeah, you know, I'm glad I settled down here in New Jersey, because, you know, I got some cousins down in New Jersey. You know, my mom's family is originally from New Jersey. But, no, I don't really like it there. It's kind of stinky there. You know, the air just kind of smells bad. I mean, the same thing's here. The air smells bad here, but it's like a different kind of stink. All right, over here, we smell like, you know, bumhole and marijuana. All right, down there, they smell like, you know, swamp and like, you know, fresh air or whatever. You know, and garbage and, you know, whatever. Nature, I don't like that smell. You know, when you go out in nature, there's like animal dung and, you know, I don't like that smell. Alright, I got about 15 minutes more. I got about another 20 minutes on the clock. I gotta get in those last 5 minutes. I gotta fix the register. You know, because Pedro's gonna be on my ass. You know, because last time I counted the bills in the register. Alright, and then he comes back and he says there's counterfeit bills. I'm like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? He's like, because he's got his magic pen. He's got this magic pen that he got from Amazon. You're just supposed to scribble on the bill to find out if it's counterfeit. Okay, it's going to become counterfeit if I start writing on it, right? You're not supposed to write on money. All right, I'm not about to defile, you know, our money, you know, good money. So I don't use the pen. I don't use the silly pen that he got on Amazon. All right, plus I don't trust the chemicals that are in there. I don't trust the chemicals that are in there because, you know, one time I opened the pen and it smelled kind of funny. I was dizzy the rest of the day. All right, I don't trust it. So I didn't, so I don't use the pen. And he says, well, there's counterfeit bills. So he's like, what are we going to do about this? There's 200, went down 200 short because of counterfeit bills. What do you want me to do, Pedro? All right, whatever. So he's been taking some of it out of my paycheck. The pine scented car freshener is enough nature. For me, yeah. You know, when I used to have a car before, you know, I had that crash. I used to have the, not pine scented, what is it? It's like cherry scented. I used to have that one in my car. You know. Yo, thank you for the burgers, Pablo. Thank you. Hope you're having a blessed night. Thank you. I could really use a good burger. But I think I'm gonna stop by the IHOP. I think I'm gonna get myself some of those pancakes. Some of the cinnamon pancakes. And get my ma some of those little sausages. You know, she likes the little sausages. You know, the problem with Ma, though, is now she's got, you know, she's got this thing on her leg. You know, it's like a big hole in her leg. You can see her bone through it. You know, and everybody's like, go to the doctor. You know, you're not supposed to be able to see the bone. Like, listen, we've dealt with a lot more, all right, without seeing a single doctor. Because you know the doctors, you know, they get paid. You know, they get paid. You know, they gotta give you the medicine, give you the vaccine. You know, and it is all about money. All right, we'll deal with it on our own. All right, I've just been putting some, you know, some of that paper mache on it or whatever. You know, rub a little Vicks on it. It's fine, you know. It's like she's gonna be fine. Oh, don't make that face. You know my ma. She survived a lot. You know the mob and everything. You know, do you know my mom? I don't know if I ever told you this, but my ma's father. Well, he wasn't her real father. He was her stepfather. All right, but he was in the mob. You know, so she saw a lot of shit growing up. You know, got shot a couple times. So she's been through this. Yeah, you know, you gotta stick it to Big Pharma, because, you know, they're a lot like the mob. You know. You know, they want to shake you down, you know, for like, oh, you know, you owe us $1,000 for insulin or whatever. You know, they're basically like the mob. But, you know, you saw what happened in New York City, you know, with the health people. You know, I'm not saying it's okay, all right, but, you know, Big Pharma is all connected. Yeah. No, but my ma's doing okay. You know, because, you know, she and my father, believe it or not, they were married for like 35 years. They're still married, but he's in jail, you know. He's been in jail for a long time. All right, you know. Turns out, you know, once you do a certain amount of robberies in a row, you know, they really bring the hammer down on you after that. You know, but he never hurt nobody, all right, you know. The gun only had 3 bullets in it. And my father was never a good shot anyway. All right, so so nobody got hit. All right, but they still want to send him away. They still want to say, you know, but he got to, God bless his public defender, because, you know, they said we're going to give you 35 to life. Luckily, they were able to bring it down. So he's up for parole in a couple of years. You know, maybe he'll get to meet the kids and stuff. Tax fraud? No, robbery. You know, we don't do that fancy pants, you know, tax fraud, you know, we pay our taxes. We all pay our taxes like good Americans. Just kidding. I fucking hate taxes. You think I like getting taxed? All right, but, you know, I'm a law-abiding citizen. All right, despite what what my baby father wants to say, that I'm a child abuser. Alright, I never abuse my kids. Alright, my kids are good kids. Alright, sometimes they get into stuff that they shouldn't get into. It's not my fault. Alright, I'm just doing my best. I'm a single mother. So am I in the market for a new daddy? Very funny, blue on blue, and no, I'm not in the market for no man. Alright, maybe I'll just become one of them. Maybe I'll just become one of those lesbos. All right, I knew, I don't have nothing against, I don't have nothing against the people that, the gay or whatever, because I knew these two girls. One of them name was Tammy. All right, they had Tammy, and she was like the girl, and then she had she had the girlfriend, but the girlfriend looked like a dude. You know what I'm talking about? But they were a happy couple. They were nice. I even had them over for Thanksgiving once, and they brought some good food. So, I don't have anything against her. But maybe I should just become like Tammy. I should become one of those lesbos. A single wife. I'm not a single wife. I'm a single mother, They said, you should get married. You should get married, when I have my first kids. They said that you should get married. You should settle down, but I don't know. I just something about it, and weddings are expensive, and I wasn't willing, and maybe I did the right thing because the Trevor, then he ended up being a piece of shit. So I'm kind of glad that I dodged a bullet, but but hey, nowadays, that they say in the law that now, if you're gay, you can marry. You can marry a Tammy. You can marry what was the chick's name? She had a name. It was like a girl's name, but Bobby, Tammy and Bobby. That's what I remember now. Tammy and Bobby. So yeah, maybe I could be like Tammy and I could find myself a Bobby. All right, we could get married. But the problem is that I've always loved a good dick. So I don't really know. I don't know really how that would work out. But it's not really about because dicks are no good, because they're all fun and games until then you got 5 kids. Then you got 5 kids. Your body's never the same. Okay, you gain 50 pounds. All right, you try to get a boob job to feel better about yourself. All right, and then they just end up deflating and unflating because you got shedding the COVID vaccines and all that stuff. What is this horror story? This is it's life. This is my life, but I wouldn't call it a horror story. Praise be to God. I still got my 2 arms, my 2 legs. All right, my ma, she's got one of her legs got a hole in it, but there's a lot worse. You're gonna have a hole in your heart. You could be dead. All right, you can have a hole in your head like the guys in the mob. You could be dead. I'm God blessed. Praise be to God. I told Father Rigatoni, I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for my faith. For my faith, but I don't go to church every Sunday. But I should go to church every Sunday. I should do it. I'm gonna go to church today. All right, what time is it? What time? Okay, now it's 2 a.m. on Monday. Well, what? Don't worry. I'll go to church next week. I'll talk to Father Rigatoni. Yeah, that's his name, Father Rigatoni. I think he's I don't think he's from Italy, but his father's from Italy. If you was to become a lesbo, you think you gotta have one of those lipstick lesbos? Lipstick Bob. You're saying a bunch of words that it's gonna come in one. It's going in 1 year, one out the 1 year. All right, I don't know what all that means, but if you're asking me if I would become a man, if I was a lesbian, no, I think I'd just stay a woman. Because Tammy and Bobby, they, Bobby looks like a man, but she's not a man. She's, she's a woman. But, I see nowadays, people are, changing genders and stuff. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think that sounds expensive. That sounds a little too expensive. I don't know what good that would do me, but maybe I could find myself a Bobby. Maybe she's got a nice place. I can move in with the kids, get the kids back. All right, I only got about 5 more minutes. Pedro's gonna be on my ass if I don't get in there and get the register fixed. God damn, I gotta stop smoking these cigarettes. But yeah, but when's the next time I'm gonna see you? My next shift. I'm actually off tomorrow. So, I'm supposed to have visitation with some of my kids, but oh god damn it, sorry, that's my phone ringing. Yeah, the ringer is like all fucked up. So what I do is I just have it on vibrate. I got it on vibrate and then I just got a bell attached to it. So it's probably one of my baby daddies. I'll put it on. I'll let them leave me a voicemail. But yeah, I'm supposed to visit my kids tomorrow, but I'm like, okay, but I don't have no transportation. All right, you know, I don't got money to Uber back and forth every day. All right, I've only got to ride half the time. All right, you know, I got my neighbor drive me to and from work. You know, but he's not available tomorrow. So you know, I see my kids, I don't see my kids, whatever. Maybe I'll go to church. I don't know if the church is open on Mondays. You know, because I can walk to the church. The church is like, you know, I really should go to church every Sunday. It's literally walking distance. But you know, ever since I got those plates in my back, you know, it's no easy feat walking. You know, it may just be a few feet away. You know, but maybe since I live so close to the church, maybe my prayers, you know, they travel there, so I don't actually have to go there. I don't know. I'll have to look that up on the Googles, and I'll have to see if that's how that works. Just tell the kids to hitchhike. It's safer for them. You know, I was always too afraid to go hitchhiking, but you know, I think it's for good reason, because I used to know this girl. Back in the day. She was Oriental. What was her name? What was her name? Sung-hoo. Yeah, Sung-hoo. She used to, you know, and she tried to hitchhiking, you know, and you know what happened to her? You know, they found her the next day. She had no legs. All right, but God bless her, she survived. She learned how to walk again. But you know, so I don't really trust that hitchhiking. You know, what, you're not supposed to say that no more? I'm sorry, I didn't know you weren't supposed to say that. You know, I don't know these days what you're supposed to say, what you're not supposed to say. All right. You know, but I feel bad for her, because you know, one day you're just trying to get from point A to point B. Next day you got no legs. You know, it happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take my lead now. I'm done smoking. Good for you. You give up those cigarettes. Hope you have a great day, great night. Also, surgery on my ass now, so take care of that. So goodbye, friends. My ass is spread out and my head hurts. All right, well, God bless you. Good luck with your surgery. I'm glad that you stopped smoking. I appreciate you, Pablo. All right, but does anybody want another cigarette for the road? Because I gotta get going in a few minutes. All right, but let me, you know, I see my alarm. I'm gonna snooze my alarm for 5 minutes. You know, because nowadays the alarms have advertisements. Did you know this? Nowadays, the alarms every 30 minutes, my alarm goes off. It's an advertisement. All right, Domino's Pizza. All right, sounds yummy, but why I didn't ask you? All right. Yeah, you're better off using the imaginary cigarettes. All right, they're probably a lot cheaper than the real ones. But you know. But you know, the thing is, you know, every once in a while, don't tell Pedro this, but you know, every once in a while, just take some of the cigarettes from the back, you know, because, you know, I work too hard here. They pay me like shit, you know. I might as well grab me some cigarettes, so I'll never be low on cigarettes, you know. You know, and maybe when I get the kids back, I'll try not to smoke, you know, in their face, you know, because that's one of the things that they said. They said you gotta stop smoking in your kids' face. Oh yeah, like a little smoke didn't. It's not like they're smoking the cigarettes themselves, right? And then they say that there's this thing is called secondhand smoke. All right, secondhand. You know, there's not really that. Secondhand is not really a bad thing, because you know we used to get all of our shoes secondhand. We go to the secondhand store, and that's where we get our shoes. All right. Nowadays, the kids they want to get their own shoes. They want to go to the fancy store like the Target or whatever, and they want to get their light up shoes. And you know, we're going to the secondhand store, and we're gonna get yourself some shoes that somebody else been walking in. All right, and you know, you just gotta, you know, you gotta make do when you don't got money. Pack here and there ain't hurt nobody. Yeah. So they say the secondhand smoke is not good for the kids. All right. Well, the secondhand shoes are good enough for my kids. All right. Why is the secondhand smoke such a big deal? And they just keep saying you're not getting it. You're never gonna get your kids back. Well, okay. You watch me. I've been praying to the Lord every day to get my kids back. Secondhand smoker, well, I complain about smoking for free. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the kids so they still get the buzz, but they don't have to deal with the, you know, their you know, throat clogging up and all that, you know, because I got all this junk in my throat, You know, my voice is like deeper now because, you know, when I was younger, I used to talk, you know, like a little cartoon character. My voice used to be really high pitched, but you know, when you've been smoking as long as I have, you know, your voice drops down. But some people find it sexy, you know. I met some guy. I met a guy online. A guy, what was his name? What was his name? Nicholas? Yeah, Nicholas Nya or something like that. Yeah, he was like, your voice is sexier this way. I was like, okay, well, you know, that guy was kind of a weirdo. He's got like, he's got the animals on his Facebook. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Nicholas Nya. Yeah, he's got the animals. He keeps posting these pictures on his Facebook, and it's like whoa, it's like wolves, but they're standing on 2 feet and they got big booties. You know, I don't really know what that's all about. You know, I was thinking I should block him, but then what happened was I had to restart my Facebook. I had to get a new Facebook, and then once I got the new Facebook, he added me on there. I forgot about it, so. You know, but people say that my voice is sexier this way, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I guess so. I don't really know. I don't really know what is considered sexy for a woman because, you know, I'm not a lesbian. Maybe I gotta learn how to be a lesbian, though. Maybe I'll understand. I'll have to ask, you know what? I should call Tammy. I haven't talked to Tammy in a few years. But, you know, maybe I'll talk to Tammy. I hope she's doing good. I hope Bobby's doing good. But yeah, I gotta get back there because Pedro's gonna be on my ass. All right, I have to go get myself some pancakes. All right, I haven't eaten since lunch, so. It was good seeing you guys, though. All right, anybody else want a cigarette for the road? All right, it was good seeing you. All right, you come back next to my next shift is next shift's on Tuesday. Yeah, they got us working on New Year's Eve, so I'll be here. New Year's Eve. Maybe we can count down the year together. All right, we go watch the ball drop on my smartphone. You know, we got a little busted TV in there. It's busted right now. It's just showing static, but maybe I could tell Pedro, you know, get the TV fixed so we can watch the ball drop. All right. yeah, of course. Oh God, don't you thank me. Don't you thank me. You know I always gotta smoke for you. You know I'm smoking a story. All right. But you know, let me see. You know, I think there's another gas station open. in the neighborhood. Let me get you the address so that you could go over there if you need to find some more cigarettes to smoke. All right, what do we got here? What do you got here? Oh yeah, Tea the Khajiit. Yeah, they got their own. You know, it's not the gas station. They just opened up the game store. Yeah, Tea the Khajiit. They just opened up the game store. They're playing the Pokemons there. All right, so why don't I send you guys over? Why don't I go send you guys over to the game store? All right, and you can play some Pokemons. All right, and I'll see you later. All right, I'll see you later. All right, you go play I should learn how to play the Pokemon. You know, my kids are trying to tell me about the Pokemon, and the only one I know is a Pikachu. You know, Pikachu, the little yellow one. He's kind of like a little minion, but he's like a mouse. All right, anyways, I'll see you later, toots. Mwah. Bye bye.